Episode 20, belatedly, of the Mainly Wrestling Show. I'm Jack Milner, joined by once again John Jacobs, who's looking full Eddie Hearn mode today, and Lissy Almeida, who refuses to do the Jamie Hayter hair
Won't do it.
alteration.
Sorry.
Uh, Ladies and gents, it's been a while. I think we've only recorded, what, twice the last 2 months. Apologies for our
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all our devoted 24 followers out there. Definitely to watch at least his friends and family. I suppose we're here meeting kind of again under somber times. It's unfortunately in the news of Jay Briscoe passing at the age of 38. Lissy and I, being long-standing card carrying Ring of Honor fans from the would you call it the old school or
Glory
five or
days.
sixes? You
The
think
real Ring of Honor.
the real Ring of Honor, not this TK brand. It's a bit like when WWE brought back ECW, right?
Oh my
This
God. I
this
don't
is
I don't acknowledge that time.
Kelly, the extreme exhibitionist, really. A shout out on Vince being back as well. Dark times in wrestling.
Did he ever leave?
Never leave, but he probably didn't know. Still at Sunday dinner with the McMahon Helmsley regime. But Jay Briscoe, 38. JJ, you wouldn't have seen as much as probably we did from back in the day, but you've become acquainted to him recently in the last few years, have you not?
Yeah, I mean, we covered one of their early matches in a previous episode, and
Chicago
obviously,
tonight, April 22nd. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Briscoes for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships.
yeah, it's funny mentioning Motor City Machine Guns. I think everyone forgets that they had a match in AEW like last year, kind of just breezed
Oh yeah.
past, right?
Was it not a six man to build to a tag or something? But yeah, we
Anyway,
never we never got the FTR match, so
but
I never will.
yeah, so obviously you guys are way more acquainted with the Briscoes than I, being long-time Ring of Honor fans, but sort of came obviously like they're one of those tag teams that you hear about but maybe don't see that much if you know they never were on WWE. AEW is pretty recent, so if you weren't kind of tuned into the indies and stuff, they're one of those talents that you hear about, best of the indies or whatever, but never really seen that much of. I think that was the case for me with the Briscoes. I'm not going to pretend that I was some huge fan just because one of them passed away. Um, but obviously became more acquainted with them in the past 12 months, their matches with FTR, and then have gone back and kind of seen bits and pieces of stuff that they've done. And yeah, I guess for me, it's just kind of sit back and listen to you guys eulogize about them. But I think it's fair to say, like, sort of based on his history, the fact that he was only 38 when he died, right? And he's been in Ring of Honor for basically like 20 years and always been a Ring of Honor guy.
Mental.
Obviously done stuff elsewhere, but always been a Ring of Honor guy, and you know was predominantly a tag team wrestler, but had a run with the world title, beating Kevin Steen for the world title. 2 runs with the world title. There
Two-time
you
world
go.
champion, yeah.
And obviously, multi time tag team champion with his brother. Just a shit situation. We've seen a lot of wrestlers die too young, usually because of the industry. But then recently, we've seen people like Shaq Gaspard and now
Yeah.
Jay kind of die, nothing related to wrestling, but it's still incredibly sad to see. And yeah,
So and I'll jump on a point that Lisa you made in a video we did just 4 months ago. You can find it in the archives. You said the thing about the Briscoes and Jay Briscoe in particular was the ability to constantly reinvent themselves. In fact, they were just two young kids, and then they were two, and they became World Tag Team Champions 2004. They took some time off. Came out then in the boxer type shorts, and then they became like the Dem
Yeah,
Boys, right? And they were the chicken
yeah,
farmers. I think their dad got involved as well about 5, 6 years ago.
yeah.
Daddy Briscoe. It was just constantly trying to keep it fresh.
Yeah, they kept, I mean, that's the thing, like, in wrestling, if you've been around for 20 years, it's not by accident, right?
Hmm.
They've constantly reinvented themselves, but also stayed true to their roots too, which I love and respect. Like we said, we've been watching ROH for a really long time, and you can't mention ROH without thinking about the Briscoes, right? So, it's really sad. It is, and it's like you said, JJ, like we've had a lot, it's not uncommon to hear, oh, this wrestler passed away or that wrestler passed away, due to many circumstances. But this one is just really it's really sad and so young and a lot of time ahead of him, a lot of career ahead of him and a family as well. So just
Do you,
condolences.
listen, you always talk about you're one for people getting better, and self-evolution and improving. Do you think it's been incredibly harsh that we haven't seen him on national TV? I think it was leaked, right? It was Warner Brothers who didn't want the Briscoes to be on EW television. The tribute show was filmed after Dynamite yesterday at the behest of Warner Media. He's apologized for what he said 10, 12 years ago. He's become a father subsequently. He seems to be a great dad. Everyone speaks very highly of him. Is he being hard done by not being on a greater platform?
It's fucked up, man. I I can stand on, I think on that same show we talked about like, yeah, like if you can say something stupid and then you can apologize for it right after. You probably, you're sorry that you said it, and maybe sometimes we think things that we probably just shouldn't say out loud.
Should have left it in
Regardless,
the
right?
drafts.
Yeah, should have left it in the drafts. Shout out to Lenny. But that was a long time ago, and I do think that people can change. I do think that people can grow, and it's if that's the reason why the tribute shows was filmed after and stuff like that. It sucks. It's like, guys, come on, let's just move on. This person had a lot of fans. This person was well respected in the wrestling business, and also the Briscoes are two guys that are renowned and have not wrestled in WWE. Like that's so hard to do. When you think of people like AJ Styles, who probably should have been in WWE 15 years ago or longer, right? Um, there's a lot of people there's a very small group, excuse me, that never got to WWE for whatever reason, but still made a really, really, really big impact on the business. And I think that that's something that is great for his legacy, and that he, sorry, has obviously been very proud of as well.
I can't think of
Yeah, and
anyone
I
else. Can you think of anyone else? Apart from Nigel McGuinness failed his medical. He went back as a commentator. He's the only one I can think about making a living outside. Maybe Frankie Kazarian as well, Christopher Daniels. That's it. It's a very, very narrow talent pool.
Small,
what are
small.
you saying? Are you including AEW in that now? Because I think the likes of Kenny and the
Mm,
Elite did a big job in terms of making a decent amount of money before,
true.
without going to WWE. I was just going to say, like on that, the story that came out after his death about the small town that he was from, like all the schools in that district shut for the day because it was such like a huge impact on that area because it's a small close knit community. And I'm not a gay person. I'm not in a position to kind of comment on whether he should be forgiven for the comments that he made. But people learn and people change and people grow. And my understanding from what's happened is that he was brought up in a particular way and held particular views. And since he made those comments, he understands why the comments that he made were wrong. And people within the wrestling community who are in the LGBTQIA plus community have said that he's always been kind to them, always been warm to them. All of the stories that you hear from people that really knew him, gay or otherwise, are incredibly positive, and I think you can kind of take that to speak to the quality of the guy as a human being, and you know, maybe forgive him for those mistakes, but I don't think it's definitely not something it's not a stick to beat him with this week at least.
Exactly.
If you don't want to forgive him, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, two little girls have lost their father. Mark's lost his brother the day before his birthday, and
Happy birthday, Matt Briscoe.
and a lot of people have lost a very close friend. So just incredibly sad.
Nothing I say can better the words of John Jacobs. What we will do is watch him doing what he did best, which was, in my opinion, wrestling. Lizzie and I are big tag team wrestling proponents. We're going to go back to Ring of Honor Driven, the old. I love wrestling from Ring of Honor at the old Frontier Fieldhouse in Chicago. It was where my favorite match of all time, Roderick Strong versus Bryan Danielson. It was Joe versus Punk 2, the 5-star match. And this was the first time Kevin Steen and El Generico met in Ring of Honor against the Briscoes. You would know them now as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who were about to blow up. You're probably going to have a little dance in the middle of the Rumble, and then they'll face off at WrestleMania. But before that, their real rivalry and feud emanated in Ring of Honor. Um, it culminated him in a fight without honor in, I think, Final Battle 2013, when the generic luchador El Generico was unmasked, much to the delight of Kevin Steen, now Owens. But yeah, if you go back, John, Lisa, you've got the link sent, right?
No,
Do we, Jack? Do we?
we do not.
Professional. Stall for time. Stall for time. Shit, I did. It was
So
left-handed.
I want to say that before we started recording this evening, John, who is great at keeping us on task, says to Jack, Jack, do you have things lined up for us to watch? Oh yeah, yeah, I've got it. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. All right, cool, cool,
Why
cool.
why am I a Londoner all of a sudden? Got it, Lissy. Got it. Don't worry.
That's the
Just
only one I
generic
can
UK
do. Leave
accent.
me alone.
To be
Guys,
fair,
leave me alone.
I had a big coat on yesterday. It's very cold out here in Gibraltar for here. Big coat and a flat cap, and I met a gentleman by the name of Alex Martin who won't watch this. I might clip it up and send it to him. And I did give him some football boots yesterday because he forgot us. He went, "Fucking hell, you've been selling down a market, pal." Oh, do you want these boots or not? Yeah, all right, Governor, don't worry. He's a man that, well, first of all, John Jacobs probably spends far too much time with him on a poker table. But you'd really like his accent, Lissy. Very London, very Cockney.
So I was watching back. It was so funny. I was like, oh my God, this guy. The way that you talk when you said yeah, that sends me every single time.
That's the only thing Lorraine always picks me up on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, did you open your mouth? Like,
yeah. Let's go
yeah.
back to the year 1984. What? Sorry.
My God.
Oh my God. Are you primed? Are you ready? Do you have
I'm
the link
ready.
now?
So whereabouts
If you
in this
start at
pay-per-view is it?
53:18, this is so JJ, this is 2007, right? Ring of Honor's getting big-ish. They've just lost their TNA talent, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ, Homicide, who was a world champion the year before. So the rebuilding stars, seeing Jericho have come in, and they're going to kick off a huge feud that lasts all summer. And the pair would headline the third pay-per-view, Man Up, which was a ladder war between the Briscoes and Steen and Jericho. And that saw Tyler Black debut in Ring of Honor
We
as
know who that is.
who you now know as Seth Rollins, as
Can I
the
just say
hmm
Age of the
that
Fall.
that generation, like,
Wild.
there's a reason why we loved ROH so much because, like, think
Gonna
about
go
the
top up.
the guys, go on, the guys who are big stars today, right? Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson,
Danielson. Joe
like,
still there.
yeah, like
Punk.
I don't,
Roderick Strong.
what, like, what has to happen for that pool of talent to all start in the same place and like make it big everywhere they go? Like, that's just crazy to me.
I was thinking about this. So this match is the Briscoes versus Steen and Jericho. The feud they had beforehand was with the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. They feuded with the summer before Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, who also in their little stable had Matt Sydal and AJ Styles. This is 15, 16 years later, and they're all still performing at such a high level. Like they were
Crazy.
all like mid-20s, right? Early 20s. It was even before this, right? Paul London, in '03. I mean, you got Steve Corino popping up, but it was just mainly the best guys on the indie scene, all young and hungry.
That's it. It's just,
When you mention all of those names who have obviously gone on to WWE, to AEW, maybe to Japan, whatever, but Briscoes have always kind of stayed loyal to AEW. Does that put them up there as like the greatest Ring of Honor talents
Oh,
Um,
he's a tag team,
because they were there
undoubtedly.
when they as a tag team, yeah, but like overall they were there when they debuted, right? Like the first ever Ring of Honor
Yeah.
show.
Jim was on the
So
first show. Mark was underage. He wasn't illegally allowed to perform by the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Different laws
but they
20 years
were,
ago.
if you think, yeah, you're right. Like if you think about like ROH franchise players,
I think
it's
so.
them. It's them.
I think the
No, it's
Briscoes.
nobody else.
When I got back into wrestling in '06, and I saw we can watch that next. Actually, Aries and Strong versus the Briscoes at Unified. And again, as somebody who's not watched wrestling in say 4 or 5 years, it just blew me. It just completely blew me away. They do like a springboard doomsday device off the ropes. I'm like, what the fuck have I just seen? And then they go to New Japan in 2000. I want to say 2008. I was at uni in Preston, and they wrestled. I want to say they wrestled Kenta and Marufuji in for the junior tag title, and the finish is like they go for the Doomsday device. It gets turned into a Spanish fly. There's no the Japanese crowd that makes no noise. Go bananas to quote Gorilla Monsoon,
The
and
Japanese crowd makes no noise.
they just had it. Like,
mm,
they just if you look at their work from like such a young age, they got it. And then if you look at then in the last probably the latter years of their career, the way they were able to cut promos was so believable, so credible, and yet it still had enough comedy um, to kind of get them across. Like it's just so like watching one where it's doing the rounds today. Like Terry Funk don't wear no mouthpiece. You guys doing jujitsu and you're a tap out. Come on, son, this is pro wrestling. It's just the way they're able to kind of self-deprecate themselves and where they're from and what they do and their history, and there's an art to it, and they most definitely had it.
can we hit the play button? Do
Well,
you
click
want to
play.
run people? So this
Yeah,
is
what minute should we start on? This is
53:18. We'll put the link in the comments, and I am really sorry if this gets pulled by the rightful owners. Yeah, 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 TK. TK, you good. You're good for a few
you
quid.
don't
Let
need it.
let people watch this. Watch
or
this
just put the
match.
back catalogue, up.
He
There
doesn't
you
need
go.
our pennies.
Some of us who actually subscribe to what's he called, JJ? Fight Plus.
Fight Plus,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe throw a few matches on there as well. Just saying.
Do
But
it.
we'll click play in three, two, one,
Very good. It's playing.
and
There
this
we
is
go.
a young Kevin Steen.
A baby.
And Kevin, how old is Kevin Steen? I want to say Steen's like 25 here. How old must he be now? 40?
No.
This is 2007, so 14 years ago.
JJ, your maths is atrocious.
What did I do
John.
wrong?
We
14 years
gotta-
ago.
Steen's
Uh,
38 now, so he's 23 here, right?
yeah.
Just a baby.
He's 23, soon to be 24. So and Jericho's about slightly older. So again, this is Ring of Honor showcasing the best young talent that hasn't been signed
Absolutely.
by TNA WWE.
Can I just say, like, just we were going to watch wrestling in a gym. And like I no, I'm serious. And I grew up obviously not watching a lot of indie wrestling, right? I grew up watching WWE and WCW. Come on, like, and then to be like a teenager and just kind of stumble across ROH and just go watch them in a gym, literally in a gym at like the place that like I used to like run track when I was in school. Um, I was like, this is like crazy. I didn't even think I was gonna like it. We just went. And then the end of the show happened and they're like, oh, buy your tickets for the next show. My cousin and I were literally like at the front of the queue to make sure we got front row tickets for the next show because like that's how good it was.
I guess at the old ROH shows, right, you get the same guys sitting in the same seats every single
Yes,
show.
yes,
Green
yes,
Lantern fan would be middle on the hard camera every single match,
yes.
every single event.
Their
See
charisma
JJ,
like really comes through even in like you say in a gym, right? They just walk out and they kind of
nice.
take over.
And look at
Yeah,
this is what they used to do. So this is the second pay-per-view, right? So nice promo inserts. That Doomsday device was sick. So all those streamers is how I lost about £400 going to Wolverhampton, where I actually had a merch store next to the Briscoes,
Nice.
and
Did you speak to them?
yeah, they were really polite. I said, lads, do you mind me like setting up it? Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it, pal. But I don't think they said pal. He said, no
they were
problem.
They weren't worried about you,
So
pal.
how did you lose 400 pounds?
Because I spent a fortune getting a lot of streamers bought, and
Oh,
then
okay.
obviously travel and accommodation, train down to Wolverhampton, staying over for the night, and all the New Japan talent they had booked cancelled at 5 days' notice.
Oh no.
Fantastic.
Like you've
Oh
seen them in the
no.
ring. As soon as someone comes in,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
and they were supposed to have the big. So JJ, you know your darts, right? So they used to have the Grand Slam of darts in Wolverhampton as well, and they have a big hall and a second hall. This was supposed to be in the big hall. They didn't sell enough tickets. The Japan talent, I think the Japan talent pulled out because they couldn't afford to pay them based on the ticket projections. They got put.
Oh,
So there was, I think, 400 people. I don't even think there was that many people to see the
at least they told them and they didn't stiff them at the end of the night. That
What
happened.
year, Jack? What year was that? And like, who was on
t
the card?
2008. It was the first ever match Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards teamed together. Hence the name, the American Wolves, Wolverhampton.
It's amazing. Like, I think if you take that card and put that in Wolverhampton now, like with the wrestlers at the age that they were at, like that would sell out.
I don't think they wrestled the Briscoes. I think they wrestled Roderick Strong and David. It was Roderick Strong and someone else. I think it might be the Briscoes. I'm not sure. The Briscoes were there. Strong was there because I remember just being in awe, like sitting next to Roderick Strong. Just because I'm in the bit where they all go for
You're
the
like, this is
interval.
so cool.
This is just so
Because
weird.
I'm sure Ring of Honor like sold out Wembley Arena like a few years back. Not,
So
I'm not talking about the massive one, like that's the smaller indoor one, but it's still a decent sized venue.
18 months ago, they did the fifth year festival, right? And they
Mm.
did London and Liverpool because that was Samoa Joe's farewell tour.
Mm.
And they sold, I think they did the Liverpool Olympia where they had Unified the year before. And I think they did, I think they might have done where Rev Pro do their stuff in London. Is it the uh, York Hall? Is it called, I think? Bethnal Green, maybe? But anyway, they sold
Not
like
sure.
2,000
York Hall rings
tickets.
a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they had high expectations. But look how lean the guys are here, by the way. So
Oh, they
young,
had they it's funny because like when you're so young, like a lot of guys just like can't put on any size until they're like in their later 20s.
big forearms. Yeah, Sami
But
Zayn
also, I
is
think
just
someone like El Generico or, Sami Zayn, when he goes to WWE, he's kind of
you
sort of
got
same with Daniel Bryan. Like, you see Daniel Bryan, like, he's always been small. They'll always be small guys, but they put on a lot of muscle.
mm,
Like, and I
From
guess
since
as
this
well,
time, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I guess as well, like, you're getting paid enough that you can put everything into it, and you can be in the gym day in day out, and you don't really have too much else to worry about. Like, that is literally your life. Whereas not quite the same when you're Ring of Honor. Maybe that's part of it. But also, I think you probably know, like, you have to. It does help to have that
that's right.
that look.
No, you're right. Well, I think like you said, it's important to remember that like wrestling in ROH at this time, especially like you're not making money that you can live your life off of, right? You're probably doing construction or landscaping or a undisclosed amount of odd jobs during the day. So, like when you make it to WWE, you have a lot more time and energy and bandwidth to invest in your body, right? Like it's
Mm.
really hard to balance the two.
I think a
The
lot
other
of
thing
it's
as
is the
well is like
travel,
having the
right?
money to. I was going to say it. I was going to mention that, yeah, but it's also like having the money to spend on all those chicken breasts, and it's
Mhm.
like it's not cheap to eat to
It's
bulk,
not.
you know.
But when you're traveling, like, they always say like 400-500 mile round trips, right? To go and wrestle for
Mm.
$200 because don't have a choice.
Yeah.
In the words of Roy Keane, right? That's my job. By the way,
Dude, you're gonna
Steen,
pull over at a McDonald's. You're not looking for a five-star gourmet meal. You're like, let me spend this 5, 10 bucks, get food. Like when you listen to like all like the old wrestlers from the 80s and they're like, we just buy bread and bologna and keep it in our room. Like, ew,
Matt Briscoe
who's
was
so
so
sad.
cool. By the way, so this is kind of set up. This is a big deal for Ring of Honor, right? This is the second internet pay-per-view. So this may look quite shitty in terms of the setup and the production. This has been this is like the best I've ever had it at the time.
What are you talking about?
You'll see like Steen does some unbel he does like a rolling cent on it, and I've never seen anyone be able to like aim snot at somebody like he does. Just the
Yo, yo.
he's But again, at this time he's a heel, and he was a brilliant heel in Ring of Honor. That's why, as I've tuned out later, I've gone back and looked. He forms a partnership with Johnny Jacob, Jimmy Jacobs, and Steve Corino
Jimmy
as part of
Jacob.
Scum. But
You know what's
yeah,
funny? Like he's for a man his size, like he does so much that you look at that guy, you're like, that guy's not even a wrestler.
mhm. Well, I mean, he was so weird that he went so late, right? And you'd think well, I was going to say if Vince wasn't in charge, this is like Triple H's NXT. He basically made Ring of Honor for WWE. Look at the guys he made champion, right? Seth
Essentially.
Rollins, Adam Cole, or I
Kevin
don't think
Owens.
Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Yeah.
who had a great match with I think Steen at I want to say Final Battle 2014-ish.
Did did you listen to that William Regal podcast with Scroobius Pip,
Not
Distraction
yet.
Pieces?
It's not. I've saved the link. I haven't downloaded it yet.
So Scroobius Pip, I don't know if you even know who that
I
is.
used to see him on Soccer Aim. He used to be like a rapper. I've a beard like you.
Yeah, well, much better than me. Like down here, but he was like a poet originally, like a spoken word poet, like really good. And despite the fact that he has
What a
what's
move.
it called, a stutter, right?
There you go.
But anyway, he joined up with a guy called Dan the Sack, who was a DJ and essentially became like a rapper. Like he would speak his spoken word stuff over the music that Dan the Sack would make. And I was like a huge fan of their work, but he's also a massive wrestling and combat sports fan, and now has started like a podcast kind of network. But yeah, Distraction Pieces is his podcast. It's really popular. I think he's probably better known for that than he is for his music now.
Oh,
But yeah,
really?
he had a really cool interview with William Regal, which came out the morning when Jay passed away. It was obviously recorded a couple of weeks before, but it was interesting from him that he's been a massive wrestling fan for like 20, 25 years, and he said his favorite ever era of wrestling, any show, anywhere, was Black and Gold NXT.
Not
I think
surprised.
a
Like
lot of
all of those
people.
That
champions
was
that
his
you were
baby.
naming. So no,
But
I'm talking about Scroobius Pip, not
oh,
William
really?
Regal.
Oh, I thought you meant Regal. I
Yeah.
was going to say.
And he was speaking to Regal about that time, and it's not a surprise. Like you see the wrestlers that were there, and also I think like it was super accessible for people in the UK. Like Ring of Honor,
Was it?
all of those stars, a lot of those stars went through Ring of Honor, right, and then went to NXT. But it also brought
Yeah.
in some Japanese stars and others from other indies. But like Ring of Honor wasn't super accessible in the UK, whereas you could watch NXT like so easily through the network, or it was on Sky Sports, and then easily catch the pay-per-views and stuff.
Forgot all about the network, guys.
I,
Those are the good old days.
I
We're living
forgot
in hell now.
We
this
still
was the
got
new
it.
camera angle they brought in for the pay-per-view. So I've just been so in awe of that. Again, how things have changed in 16 years.
Yes.
Jeez.
What a
Sorry,
time.
darling. I can't do
It's
a Boston
okay.
accent.
Yeah,
How
darling.
how is Miami? Are you glad to be home?
Can I tell you, I've been living in Miami almost 2.5 years now, and this is the longest that I've been here. I've been home for 1 month and I'm ready to get the hell out of here. So
You must
it's
have
good.
flights booked for somewhere, Liz. It's you.
You know what? This is the first time in years and years and years I don't have one flight booked, and that needs to change. It really does.
You just need TK to announce that London show, right?
Ring it up.
Are you going to give us any Royal Rumble spoilers? Are any NXT people in
Not
it
that I
this
know
year?
of. Not that I know of. No. Not that
Hello,
I'm
call
aware
me.
of. Shut up. Not that I'm aware of.
Nobody
Not that I've
watches this.
been
We're fine.
privy to.
You talking about Cody Rhodes' coach?
Okay,
Good
so
QT.
can we talk about this? Can we talk about this though? Because like I'm a little bit disappointed that they did that big announcement that Cody is returning. Like, just let the man return and have a friggin' surprise, guys. Can we have one surprise in this life?
Edge.
Yeah, I mean, as well, you can even kind of do what they did with Punk to AEW, right? everyone knows it's going to happen, but like, let's just have that
Oh,
doubt, right? And then you get,
yeah,
26, 27, 28, is he coming kind of thing.
Do
allow
you
it.
think they
But
should have done like they should have just aired that like big logo and then like a bit of a countdown on Raw and then nothing's mentioned about it? And then Twitter, you go on Twitter like, oh my God, Cody's coming back, Cody's coming back.
Something. It has to. I don't know. I mean, I get it because it helps the build up because realistically, there's nobody's looking forward to anything else. Let's just be quite honest, right?
When does
Um,
Vince ever give away surprises? Ever? He's a marketing man. Sell it, promote it, sell it. He's a promoter.
Sell it, brother,
Old
sell it.
school.
I don't know, man. But I mean, I'm happy that Cody's back. I just and you guys know I have to advocate for health. I hope that he's back and he's ready to come back and he's fully healed and you know, he's just a man at the end of the day and he's not a young man anymore.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
the
ooh, ooh, ooh.
body needs time.
Oh, they used to do a great double like football charge for. Do you think we'll see Kevin Steen with a over the top rope?
Ooh,
Do you think we'll see Brandy with Cody at the Rumble?
God, one can hope not.
Can I say you talk about Brandy the way that Prince Harry talks about his stepmother?
Lissy, I think you should watch Rose to the Top, and you might have a more pleasant view of Brandon.
I don't know. I've seen their show
Mhm.
and I I don't mind her. I think maybe it was the creative behind her character in AEW.
Look at
And
this,
you
by
know
the
what
way.
my
Look at
problem
this
is?
moonsault. Tremendous.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Crazy
I'm
Mark
just
Briscoe.
like, I'm one of those people, wow.
Did you
That
just
oh
get
my
the
God, like this
moonsault?
the selling.
Just you got it a few
Woo,
seconds later.
sorry.
I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. Let you guys catch
Yeah,
up.
pause for 3 seconds. No, but
107,
I'm one of those people
43,
that
I was there.
44, 45.
okay, I need to stop being that way though. I think I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, that's fine.
Watch
But
this.
like,
Boom into the chairs. That was
yeah, okay,
sick.
yeah. That's what I just said wow to like 10 seconds ago.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I need to stop being this way, and I know it's something that I have an opportunity to work on. When someone does something I don't like, I'm just so done with them. So, like, ever since that one comment that we don't even need to repeat, like,
Hmm.
I was done. I was done then, and I'm still done now.
are you trying to say you're not a big fan of martial arts or something? Are you a black belt or was
What
that
Oh,
not
we've
the
just
comment?
seen, what we've just seen there is why Lissy loves being in the front row at these shows in the gym because there's so much crowd
okay.
interaction, right?
So if you go back to like the 2006, 2007, 2008 shows, I'm in the front row and I'm almost getting hurt at every single show. But it was
I'm
great.
I'm so by the way, that Samoa Joe shirt, I had that shirt as well. I am devastated I've lost it. Our good friend Rafa, Dan took mate of mine, Dan plays pool with Rafa, sent me a photo saying Rafa's got a good shirt on. You'll approve of this. Because I got into John's little wrestling WhatsApp group because I collared somebody
You're in?
wearing a I collared somebody wearing a Young Buck shirt and I went, what the fuck is that? Get yourself an FTR
Mm.
shirt. Oh wait, man,
Wow, they let you in?
do you know wrestling or something?
Or do I know wrestling?
Love
Did
it.
you say I am wrestling?
It
I
is
think I,
such a like it is such a vibe when you're wearing a wrestling shirt and someone comes up to you and just like says something like, about it. Like I remember being in the casino in Jib in an American Alpha t-shirt and someone's like locked eyes with me across the bar and they're like
first Chad Gable mention.
didn't even mention him. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the best is you guys know I love my NWO shirts. Wear them all the time, wear them everywhere I can, every chance I get. You're just walking down like the sidewalk and you're in a NWO t-shirt and like complete stranger, who cares about COVID? Just like, and you give each other it's like, it warms your heart.
Such a meme.
There's some shirts and obviously like some wrestlers who kind of transcend wrestling.
Yeah.
I think like an Austin 316 shirt,
Yeah.
or yeah, NWO as well. But yeah, some of the ones that like an American Alpha shirt, it's not something you're going to see every day. I saw someone
Yeah, you're
outside
right.
the supermarket the other day, a few months back with an Orange Cassidy t-shirt, and I gave him the.
Yeah.
Steen's going for it. He's going for it all. Big
I
senton.
should have just walked up to him and give him a light kick, but He was in a wheelchair, so it
That
didn't
would
feel
have been cool.
appropriate.
I saw some
Well,
guy walking up Main Street in an Austin 360. He's like, but I heard it in the week. And I actually said to him like, cool shit, bro.
I
well,
remember when I was in a Daniel Bryan shirt and someone was in a John Cena shirt, and
whoa.
he sort of he came up to me and he was like, I'm backing the better guy, and I was like, you are not someone I want to have a conversation about wrestling with. You think that, buddy?
You do
See you
you, hon.
later. No,
I
I love
mean,
that.
Oh,
firstly,
this is
yours is bright green, and
El
but
That's
Generico
all
was
I need to know about
so.
you.
Look how great Sami Zayn was, man. This is like in his early 20s. Tornado DDT.
all these guys.
Tripping.
How old are the Briscoes here? A few years
Teenagers.
ago,
22,
22. Yeah, they're
23,
all in their
22.
early 20s, right? I mean, and they're just putting on an absolute
El
clinic.
Generico with just he does the
Oh,
Yakuza kick and the through a table. Yakuza
it's
oh
so
into a
impressive.
Death Valley driver normally. And their finisher was the like a Matt would do like a burning hammer, I think was like Kobashi. And they do I don't know, that into a leg drop. It was really impressive.
You know
And
what's
again,
Well,
funny?
so
They
unsafe.
they did all the hardcore shit, but like they could also wrestle.
You watch them, they're
Yeah,
naturals. Like the chain wrestling between Jay Briscoe and Sami Zayn at the start, cutthroat driver, that's what it's called. It's
like
just
it's not
ridiculous.
it doesn't happen every day. You don't always check all those boxes.
Just going there you go. Jay Driller, cutthroat driver. There you go, that's the finisher. Bang.
There we
they
are.
did the Doomsday device as well, right? For a
Ah,
period.
that's the thing. We'll watch it in episode 2. Unified Aries and Strong. When I saw that Doomsday device, I was like, okay, I'm sold immediately.
Hmm.
Huge pop.
Yeah, that
And
was
you might have skipped the match yesterday, Jack, but the Bucks did a Doomsday device as a little bit of a tribute as well.
Jack,
I-
stop. Not today. It's
They
not about them today.
had the black armband on, and
Do
yeah,
you know, today is 20 years since the
Yeah.
2003 Royal Rumble. And if anyone is out there and you want to know, watch one match I recommend for you. If you can watch him, and I know some people can't, Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit at the 2003 Royal Rumble, it's an absolute fucking clinic in
yeah,
technical wrestling. It's
yeah.
unbelievable. I appreciate a lot of people can't watch Benoit. That's fine. If you can, I think Dave Meltzer rated it 4 3/4 star. It's phenomenal. But on the same card, it's Triple H versus Scott Steiner, and
Pure brutal.
brother, we've got to wrestle this 20 minutes slow burner. And Papa Pump is absolutely gassed after 8 minutes. We've got to keep going because that's the way I wrestle. I'm the guy.
Speaking of speaking of Hunter, what would you set the line at of the chances that we hear No Chance in Hell between now and the end of WrestleMania?
Oh, God.
It's odds on.
Do you think?
I think so. Oh,
Wow.
by the way,
I would lay a bet at odds on. I might put the line up.
put it in the group. By the way, in terms of like storytelling, right, and booking, the Briscoes have the tag match in the first pay-per-view. Cena and Jericho attack them. They have the match at the second match. They have at the second pay-per-view. Cena attacks them after the match with the ladder. Third pay-per-view, they have a ladder match. Easy.
Is there? I love Larry Sweeney so much.
Are
Such a
you ahead of
talent.
us? Are you ahead of us?
Yeah.
Okay,
What
pause it
else
for
is
us.
new?
Pause it and go back to
No,
1:14:30.
I'm busy.
Let me track this. But JJ, have you ever seen Larry Sweeney?
Don't think so. Don't
So,
recall.
Genius.
Larry
That's the
Genius.
guy on the
Sweeney,
left.
God rest his soul, a man that was suffered such extreme anxiety and depression, and he
Still
was
did this.
he was like Bobby Heenan for the 21st century. Called everyone ham and eggers. He got his own stable. On the left is Chris Hero here, who you will
Yeah.
know as Cassius Ono.
Cassius Ohno, we got Matt Sydal / Evan Bourne on the right, yeah.
Lissy and I will know him as one half of the Kings of Wrestling with Claudio Castagnoli. We'll watch some.
KOW.
Oh, there's so many matches we can go back and watch. Oh, I'm so giddy. One way
You all
here,
right?
let me just track.
JJ, we've made it out the 80s. Yes.
I love Sweet and Sour so much, and it's just so tragic what happened to him.
It's very sad.
At least he's probably one of the most biggest proponents of men's mental health in the world. So you
I
know.
am. Thank you for recognizing
I
that.
will.
What a
Let's try
day!
and watch a bit of
What a
this.
day for Sweet and Sour Incorporated. I can't
We'll
believe
see
it.
some Bobby
Matt
Dempsey.
Seidel, you are not going to regret this decision, my friend. I love it. Look at that marketable face, huh? I'm going to make you big bucks, baby. Hey, Hero, you see this? You see this face on a Wheaties box or what?
Oh, absolutely
That's
beautiful.
right, baby. That's right. You know, Sarah Del Rey, as we speak, she's off doing an endorsement deal that I arranged.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that
baby.
means more money.
More money coming to you, baby. That's right. I got Seidel, I got Hero,
Cha-ching.
and Claudio Castagnoli. I got you exactly where I want you. Huh? That's right, baby. Exactly where I want you. Because you are not going to get your hands on Chris Hero, on Matt Seidel, not on Larry Sweeney, until the money is right and all conditions are met to my liking. And you know, look at this. Look at this. It's another day in paradise, baby. And Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney has once again arranged to have the finest private athletic facility at the disposal of Sweet and Sour Incorporated. So, Matt, go to it.
Hell,
I
thank
have
you.
at
This
it.
is great.
Yeah, and Tank, what do you got Bobby up to, huh?
Come on.
Let's see this.
99, 100.
Bobby
Good job, Chucky. Good job. You know, that's really good. That's really good. For a fat, disgusting excuse for a human being. I mean, look at you. You're using your hands. This time, I want 100 more, and don't use your hands, you pathetic waste of life.
Hands up. There we go.
Come
Extend
on.
the fingers, extend
Now
the
do
fingers.
it. Now do it. Come on.
Use your ab.
Come on.
Oh, man.
Ab muscles.
Wait,
Hey,
it's like it.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
50.
Oh, let's put it on little Sissy Sally weight. There you go.
Sally Dempsey.
Come on, Sally Dempsey. Come on.
Sally.
There you go. Come on. Huh? You know what? I got your motivation right here. Hold on. What is this? Oh, death by Come on. Who's a cookie monster?
Wants a cookie?
Who's a cookie monster? Come on. Who's a cookie? You got it. MC, you are pathetic. You know what? No cookie for you. No cookie for me though. Cookie for me.
I love some.
Cookie for you.
Thank you very much.
You're pathetic. Look it. Come on. Oh, dear. Get back to work.
There we go.
What a time.
A nice
Speaking of
light way
tragedy,
to end the show.
well, I was going to say Jimmy Ray's just coming out, and that's a different tragedy. But Sweet and Sour in 2007. If Sweet and Sour were on WB TV in 2018, that'd have been brilliant. And you look at the names there, still wrestling, right? Chris Hero, Matt Seidel. Do you know who Tank Toland was?
Of course.
JJ. He was one half of the Dicks.
The Dicks.
2006 was a wild time, man.
And he
Honestly.
dated Jillian Hall, if you remember who she was.
If you look back,
Great
right,
singer.
WWE in like 03, 4, 5, 6, 7, like before they went PG, like what the fuck was Vince on?
There was a lot going on. It was exhausting.
Like Vince was wrestling guards, Jillian Hall had a mole on her face, JBL was
Dude,
going
he
fighting
said,
at the Mexican border, right?
do you remember when Vince had they were in his office and they're like, let's get down and pray. And like Stephanie was like visibly pregnant. And they're like, he's like, you too, Stephanie. And he's like, God, you don't like me and I don't like you. And I'm like, what is it?
That was
The one
around the
stands
time
out
where
to me,
he just got the Muscle and Fitness gig, right? He was on Muscle and Fitness as like a 60 whatever year old, and
Yeah.
he just went a bit.
the one that always stood out to me around that time when he was fighting God, I think it was around this time, and like one of the he sort of started his own religion, right? As, like whatever it was called, and one of the divas, I can't even remember who, like came into his locker room like, oh, I hear you've got like healing powers. I've got a bit of a chest cold.
Yes, I remember this.
Can you help me? And he's like putting his hands on her like heal. It's incredibly like gross and weird, but yeah.
To quote Lissy Almeida, would never happen.
It would
This.
never. I'm pretty sure it's not just it wouldn't happen on TV. Like I'm pretty sure that this is illegal
Just,
in a workplace safety type of situation.
I was listening to somebody else describe it as like these are the type of scenes where, you know, people walk in and they go, "What are you watching?" Ah,
What are you
just
watching? Yeah.
This is wrestling. What?
If my mom, listen, the thing is, like, my dad and I would be watching wrestling. My mom would walk in at the, those precise
Always,
embarrassing
always
moments,
at the worst
always. And it's
moment.
always your
Trish,
mom.
normally.
When your dad walked in, he didn't care, right? Always your mom. Somebody's like, naked in the shower type of situation. And my mom would be like, that's enough. Change that channel. And I'm like, oh God.
I've
Now I
been
can't
going
watch wrestling
back.
for a week.
I've been going back and watching the do you remember the Dawn Marie Tori Wilson storyline?
Oh,
Oh my God. Uncomfortable.
yeah.
Is the word that comes to mind. With the
Did
Al
we not cover
Wilson.
some
He
of
gets
that?
married in his pants, right? She fucks him to death because
Nasty.
there's a camera crew there, obviously.
Did we cover some of that? I feel like I've
No,
watched that in the last.
I think we watched like
Yeah.
we watched the SmackDown, didn't we, late last year, where it was like the first sign of Dawn Marie, but I don't think she got. We haven't got to the stage where they are an
Yeah.
item.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we'd want to go back and watch some of that, really.
Definitely not. No, there's much better things that we could spend our time watching.
Like more matches involving the Briscoe brothers. So we'll in episode 2, which would be episode 21, if JJ's counting correctly. We'll watch a bit more of the Briscoes, but for the time being, yeah, thoughts for the Briscoe family. Fingers crossed, Mark had I don't even say have a nice birthday because it's a shit time for us all. But
Yeah.
Jay Briscoe, one of the greatest in-ring talents for in-ring of our history and hell of a wrestler. Jay, what they give you? Bye.
Rest in power.
Rest in power.